What's up, everybody? It's the Yannis Pappas Hour. I am Yannis Pappas, as you know. We got a great episode coming up. My good friend, Rachel Feinstein, who has a special out right now on Netflix. Go on Netflix, watch it. It's hilarious. I watch it. She's so funny. She makes me die laughing. We had a good time. Also, our weekly bonus episodes, patreon.com/Yannis Pappas Hour. Go check them out. Completely uncensored, wild content. You guys are going to love our bonus episodes every week. They're only $5 a month. You get the video, you get the audio. I don't care. It's one price for everything. There's other tiers also. If you want to be a small business sponsor, you want a shout out on the show, you can join that tier on Patreon. Patreon.com/Yannis Pappas Hour. For all my dates coming up in the fall, I'm off for the summer. Of course, Yannis Pappas, YannisPappasComedy.com.
Yannis Pappas. Yeah. When you all tucked up in the day been long, and the news online going on and on, what's right and wrong, and it's something up. Now here comes a great kid you know you can trust. From the true who's who, to the news and cameras, to the fake politics and the propaganda. Yeah, this kid screwed in, got a lot to say. Oh shit, it's about to be a long day. It's a long
Hey, everybody. Here with my good friend, Rachel Feinstein.
Feinstein.
Do I say fast? Feinstein?
Feinstein.
Your Wikipedia still read that?
Fine, like it's spelled Feinstein.
Yeah.
You mean? Yes, yes. It's
Okay,
still
good.
spelled the same. Oh, Feinstein.
Yeah, I don't know. You got to be mindful of the kids nowadays.
Sure.
Kids are all worked up. They're in the frenzy.
Yeah,
over
they
it.
are. Yeah. I mean, I think like if I was going to change it, it would be Oh Feinstein.
Oh,
to be more
Feinstein.
Catholic. Yeah. I've always loved Catholics. You know,
Yeah.
why not? Yeah.
That would be funny. Coming to the stage, Rachel O. Feinstein. Rachel's got a special out. I want to get that up while we still got everyone's retention
That's right.
now on Netflix.
Big guy on Netflix now. And
Yes.
Yannis just said that I look business casual, which broke my heart because last time I was here, I wore a shirt where I looked like a fucking evil pirate and I regretted it the whole day. And today I was like, I got to be cooler today. And then I was like, okay, this is kind of cute. I had somebody check my outfit. I wore my fucking high tops. I was like, I'm like a beastie girl now. And Yannis was like, oh, business cash. I was like, God damn it. I always look corporate. I always look like a whore in a corporate video or something.
Yeah, no, you look like you're a commuting Queens girl going to the office.
God damn it. I always end up looking like a real estate agent in a porn or like I work at like a medical office, but I do some whoring on the weekends or something.
Right,
It's not a full
right.
office. Like
Yeah.
it's not.
Right.
Yeah, I run too dumb for like a full real office. It's always like, yeah, like an office with some guy that's sexually harassing me kind of
But
deal
you
in
deal with it 'cause
Flushing.
the paycheck's good, the benefits are good.
Yeah, but I handle it. You know, Anthony didn't mean none of that.
Yeah.
He don't mean it.
Yeah, you kind of look the other way because it's a job,
Sure.
it's stable, and stuff like that. But yeah, you definitely look like you're commuting to work on public transportation.
Ah, fuck, God damn it. I
No, it's
always
nice.
look like that.
No, it's fine. I'm just kidding.
I
with
bought
you.
these earrings from the dollar store and they're fake diamonds.
Nobody would have known if you didn't say anything.
I know, I should have said
You
it.
should have said anything.
But I'll tell you, with this special, you guys, please watch it because I want to start writing UberX and I want to make these real. All
Yeah.
right, so help mommy.
How much do those go for, fake diamonds?
My mother. They go.
What was that right there? You were just fingering.
I did like an imaginary finger blasting
Oh,
dance
yeah.
like this, and then I said, "I'm a mother" to bring myself back into my body.
Right,
It's
right.
like a tool I use.
Right, yeah.
For centeredness.
Do you ever wonder when your kid sees your work? When
Yeah, it's not gonna
she's
be good.
one day she'll be tuning into this. Your name will come up in a YouTube search, and she will see your mom going like that.
If she does try to watch my stuff, I think the way I'll approach it is I will send a cease and desist letter. I'll threaten some sort of legal action. I think if she does try to watch my stuff, that's how I'll handle that.
you
Yeah, she
think-
can't watch that. No.
Do you think they're going to think that we're cool, or do you think they'll be embarrassed and ashamed? Because you always notice that like family members always become like your least big fans. They
Yeah.
always mention another comedian that they're fans with. They always go like, that Nate Bargatze's great.
By the way, that's what my own husband does. Every time I come home, Pete is like watching Key and Peele sketches from 10 years ago. Like, and they'll be really funny sketches, so I can't even be like, oh, that's dumb and you don't have good taste. I'm like, fuck, that's funny. But also, like, I have a Netflix special on now. He's like, yeah, but I saw you tape it. I saw it tape. Like, to him, that's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah. And they've seen you for years. He's seen you for years.
Yeah, he's over it.
He gets it. Yeah.
He usually watches, like, he will watch real dumb shit on College Humor and, like, laugh really loud. But if I'm like, oh, I'm on a thing, like, and I kind of want him to want to watch it.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm all set here.
I live with you. I already see enough of you. Yeah, I'll come home and my wife will just be watching a Jessica Kirsten reel.
Jessica is the funniest too, because
She
you want
loves-
it. There's nobody funnier than Jess, and it's like I want him to have bad taste. At least when he watches real dumb shit on College Humor, I can like look down on him. And so I'm like, it's because he's too dumb for my comedy. But then when he watches stuff that's really funny, oof, it hurts.
Now, you named your daughter, your daughter's got a kind of a male name traditionally. Are you nudging her towards
We have
transition?
asked her to.
That's almost
We
opening
have-
the door.
We've only done the
There's
first.
not a lock on the door there.
No, there isn't.
That's
We've
going-
only done the first surgery, but the second one's just. Come on, it's just like a formality.
I love a female with a guy's name.
I always thought
think
that was cool in
it's
school.
so cool. I
There
love
was this
it.
girl,
Yeah.
Jordan, in my school, and she was just the cool girl. And she went to like, real vacations. We went to like outlet shopping in Redner, Pennsylvania. And like Jordan went to fucking islands and shit, like, and she was cool and cute and tiny in a way I was never tiny. So I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I'll give my kid but her real
So
name
wait,
is
you
Elena Francis. Elena Francis.
Oh, that's the real name.
That's her real name.
So did you name your daughter because of this girl Jordan? This stuck in your mind?
It was
You were
actually
at
a few different influences. There was a few.
You were in like a you were in like an outlet mall, and it just like one day I'm gonna name my daughter just a androgynous name, and she'll go on island vacation.
Such a dumb. What I just said, by the way, is so ignorant. Like, that's when you just know I come from not a scrap of money. Like, there's not a coin behind me. When I just said, and she went to like islands and shit, I couldn't even think of the islands.
Yeah.
Like, that's not, I should have
first of
let
all,
that
yeah, you-
thought finish in an oven before I fucking spewed it out. I didn't even let that thought bake itself into an actual sentence.
Yeah, well, you're also hanging out at outlet malls,
Yeah, I
which
did.
is not a fancy thing.
No.
No, nobody comes for money and goes to
We
the outlet
never
mall.
took a flight anywhere for vacation. Like, we never flew anywhere. It was always just somewhere in some swamp of a Pennsylvania town.
Yeah, we're going upstate, Lake George. In New York
Yes.
area would be like we're going to Lake George. There's a Lake George income bracket.
Yes.
It's cotton candy. There's a tattoo on dad.
Yeah, by the way,
Yeah.
we went for our honeymoon in Lake George. Like, and I'm pretty sure Frankie was conceived there.
Well, you married into traditional
Yeah.
working class.
Firefighters all
Yeah.
go to Lake George.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then every time we go to bed and breakfast, they'd be like, you know what they're going to do next? You know what the fucking government's going to do next? And I'm like, can I have some eggs? Like, what the fuck? Yeah. They all assume that you're like, you want to talk about a lot of the scams coming up,
Have you met like a liberal firefighter? They don't exist, right?
No.
Not in New York City.
Not really.
They don't. Yeah.
No.
And your husband, does he get called Cap a lot or what?
Everybody calls him Cap. Nothing but Cap.
Yeah. Cap.
By the way, everybody fixing our house, building our house, all a firemen, they're all firefighters that are not equipped to do the construction that they are actively doing in our house. But it's like the mob. They don't go outside. You go, you stay, you keep it in the fucking family.
In a department.
Yeah.
In a fire.
I
Fire.
talked about this in the special, but I really thought that we had a ghost. And then my friend explained to me, she's like, no, it's because Vinny is doing your electricity. That's why your lights are flickering.
Oh, they're a little flickery, yeah.
I full on got holy water, Yannis. Because they wouldn't stop flickering. I'm like, what the fuck? And my friend's like, no, it's because it's a fucking fireman doing the. And I
Is
was
he
like,
a licensed
oh.
electrician?
I mean,
We don't know.
we don't. It's
you didn't
anyone's
ask.
guess.
Yeah.
He would tell me that if I asked him.
Yeah.
But if I asked for a certificate,
Yeah.
he'd block me.
That's they keep it all in the fire
I
department.
was like, can I see his papers? Then my husband would block me.
Does your husband partake in the FDNY NY yearly basketball games or whatever they do? They do hockey. They do it at the Garden.
Softball.
Okay.
Oh, softball, and then hockey at the Garden.
Yeah.
He doesn't do the big one at
Yeah.
the Garden, which I want to do. I want to go and do MOS when it's like the cops versus the firefighters. Like, I would love to do that. But he doesn't do that one. But he was in an FDNY basketball league for a while. And he came home with his jersey. And I was like, oh, let me wash your stuff. And he's like, I don't know if you should wash it. And I'm like, why? I was doing laundry. And then he gives it to me. And it's because the team is called, this is on a jersey, the Shockers. With,
Which
by the way,
is-
the thing.
yeah,
With the two in
yeah.
the pink, one in the
And they
Stink.
named it after that.
Shockers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck, Pete? He's like, I didn't make it up. I wouldn't know you what. I was like, this is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. That was actually made on a jersey. It was like an official FDNY team, the Shockers.
Yeah. Is he?
Yeah.
Does he not cook at home because he's tired from cooking for the guys?
No, he cooks. He cooks for like massive amounts. He cooks like he's cooking for the whole firehouse. They all cook. That's one.
That's
perk.
my thing that I always loved about firefighters.
They all
is they're
cook.
like working class guys, but they can really fucking knock out a chicken franchise.
They can.
Yeah, like,
They
have
can make
you
a
tried
fucking-
Marty's fucking chicken franchise?
They can make you a fat plate of ziti.
Yeah, they
they'll make it for fucking the firehouse. So every time
Yeah.
he cooks, it's like for 16 men. And
Yeah.
I'm like, it's just me, you, and Frankie.
And they're good cooks
They can all
because
cook.
they cook. It's a part of their job.
They have to cook the first few years at the firehouse. Now they don't cook, and he's only kip because once you like make rank, you don't cook anymore.
Right.
But the guys come by, they never call him Pete. They only call him Kip. Out of respect or
He's
whatever.
the captain, yeah.
And so one time, actually, I don't know if I told you this last time I was here, but one time I go by the firehouse. So they bounce around. They go to different houses. And one time he was at a house where they didn't know me. They don't know I'm his wife. And you drop off food sometimes at the firehouse, or people will in the neighborhood. But Pete's told me they get kind of skeeved by it because if it's like from a store, that's nice. But like they don't want some weird ladies, you know what I'm saying, gangrenous fucking clam sauce or whatever. So I stopped by and I brought cookies, and they had like a bow on them. And I gave it to one of the other firemen. I'm like, oh, and I forgot he didn't know I was Pete's wife, and he's the captain that shift.
Keep making
so I
those
just,
visible so people can see those fake diamonds.
like I'm thinking they're dollar store
I would have
diamonds.
never known.
I'm
I would have
worth
just
that.
been going, wow. she's got some
Rachel's
big
making
diamonds.
money
She's
now.
making money now.
$2.99. $2.99. Yeah. Idiot.
So the cookies with the bow ties
So
on.
I go by the firehouse. I'm like, hey, and I give it to one of the firefighters. I was like, these are for you guys. And he goes, I said, look, they're all tied up, showing him like it's from a bakery. I said, I didn't make them. They're from a bakery. Look, they're all tied up. And he goes, you like to be tied up? And then this other firefighter next to him was like,
oh, that's Cap's wife.
he was like, oh boy. And he's like, we got an issue on our hands now. And then so he grabs him and does kind of like this long walk around the rig, like a lap. And he's like, buddy, let's talk for a second. And he walks him around the rig and he comes back just white as a sheet. He was just fucking shaking. And I stayed and hung out for a while. Pete came downstairs. He'd like smoked his dumb fat stick upstairs. He had no idea what happened. So I just hung out for a little while. I forgot about it because I know Pete wouldn't care,
Yeah.
So we were all hanging out, and this guy's just sitting there fucking twitching,
That's an uncomfortable situation.
He probably still has a nickname based on saying that shit to the cap's fucking wife. Because
Yeah.
I'm his property. He can't
Yeah.
speak like that to the fucking captain's prop.
Yeah, they probably call him Ropey or Rope or Shades of Grey. What's up, Shades of Grey's in there? Wow, I can't say that to the captain's wife.
Yeah, he was like, buddy, let's have a little talk, okay?
Yeah.
Wanna come with me?
Come here, let's talk. Yeah, no, you can't. That's Marcellus. That's the big guy's wife. That's like Marcellus Wallace in Pulp Fiction.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's like some shit like that. Only difference, Pete couldn't give a fuck.
He could care, right?
Told him in the car. He probably forgot it as soon as it happened. Like he
Yeah.
doesn't not jealous at all. Like
Yeah.
I've had guys.
Well, they just, in their defense, they thought you were just a stray neighborhood girl coming in with cookies, or what'd they think?
Yeah, they thought I was just some girl.
Just
yeah.
you didn't announce yourself. You didn't go.
I
hey.
wasn't like, hey, I belong to Captain Brennan. Hi, I'm a pair of cans that's officially the property of Captain Brennan.
You just came. You didn't.
I wasn't like, I'm a rack that's Cap's property, which is what I should have said.
That's,
I was
that's
like,
the
yeah.
way I think it's officially. You're supposed to enter the firehouse.
I'm a
You're
rack.
supposed to come in like with the patch on,
Yes.
marked. Yeah. You can't just come in as a stray woman with
Right.
cookies and not expect to get a comment from a firefighter.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they
and
do.
he probably he was like, that was fun.
Yeah,
I
he's
had a little
probably
fun
cool,
that day.
yeah.
And then Buddy was like, hey, you want to come over here? He came back a different man. Like he was like,
Yeah.
like he was unwell for
Yeah.
the rest of that day. Because he was probably waiting for because like one time, I shouldn't talk about this. Okay.
No, do it. I love when people say they shouldn't talk about it. That's what I want to hear.
So basically, I came by. I was on stage at the Cellar, and in the middle of my act, I was telling the story about how Pete calls me Big Guy, and that's his nickname for me. And then this guy said a few other jokes about being married to a firefighter. Then all of a sudden, this guy runs on the stage, grabs the microphone from me, okay, and like wrestles it out of my hands, and then starts talking to the mic like, but it was a drunken smear of a sentence, like it didn't even make sense, and he didn't do it angrily. He did it like, I'm so drunk, I think this is you and me. We'll end it together, And then he was immediately just dumb body lifted, take it away. So then I was like, I thought he was just some random guy. And then I realized he was a fireman, but I don't think he was FDNY. So then I go to Pete's Firehouse the next day and I'm like, hey, but they know each other sometimes in different states, different towns. So I'm like, hey, this happened to me last night at the Comedy Cellar, and I tell the story. And I had a video, but I go to my pocket to get the video, and they say, no way. I wonder if it was the exact fireman that it was. And he didn't even work in their nowhere near them at all.
He's got a reputation.
Yes. And so then I'm like, well, what are the odds? It's actually this guy. I show him the video. It's that guy. Okay. So then, by the way, the guys are like, oh shit. And then this calm comes over the house, and everybody's deciding what should be done about this, just like in the mob. We got to sort this out. We got to take a few people to a lake and throw them inside. You know what I mean? We got to put some bodies in the woods to fucking crunch the numbers and make it all come out in the fucking wash. So they're like, what should we do? And meanwhile, then this quiet comes over when everybody slowly looks over at Pete, and he's just like eating cereal, just happy as a clam. And they're like, oh wait, Cap clearly doesn't care about this at all. But still, I think there was discussions had, and something needed to be done.
Right.
So then the next day, Pete didn't care again about any of this, but the rest of the guys were like, oh, we got to do something, make this right. So the next day, I guess, Pete comes home and he gives me a letter of a typed apology from this guy. Which, by the way, thank you for your
Dearest
apology.
big guy, dearest big guy, dearest Mrs. Cap, I apologize. My drinking has gotten a little out of hand recently again. The guys know at the firehouse how much I struggle with this. I've always been a big fan of your comedy skits. I came there, unbeknownst to me, you were on the lineup. I was there to see Jim Norton. I love that fucking fag.
Pretty similar.
Yeah.
Except for the word fag.
I didn't know you were on there. I, at that point, was blacked out drunk. I come from a long line of firefighters. We have a pretty bad drinking problem. It goes back to the old country. And I want to offer my biggest apologies. If I could come and cook a nice chicken franchise for your whole family.
You're so close, because you're not going to believe the next part. This is all very close to what
I could
you wrote,
also do Asian, which I do for the guys on Tuesdays.
You're not going to believe what I'm about to say. So this is how close you are, Yannis. Not only did he write that pretty close to what you said, besides the word fag, but he was basically like, I didn't, needless to know, I didn't know. And any admission of his own throbbing, drinking problem. Right. He was just like, needless to know, I thought it would be fun if I got up there, things got out of hand. I'm a performer myself. I do some music on the side, and I apologize. I had no idea that you were, Captain Brendan's wife, right? So I guess he knows them because a lot of the guys that like work outside the city know and FDNY firefighters, whatever. So he knew him somehow. I think he's what they call a volunteer firefighter. So, but I don't know for sure.
That must be like an amateur porn star to a porno star.
Kinda.
They're kind of like, you're not the real thing.
But you're helping out, boys. Thank you for your service. So, anyway, so he says, he's like, I needless to say, I apologize. I hope you take this with my deepest apologies. By the way, thank you. And then he gives them a cake. Because that's how you sort it out in the firehouse. You bring a fucking cake. You're sorry, you bring a cake. You start your shift in a new house, you bring a fucking cake. And by the way, different cakes, different things.
Really?
Yes.
So this is the unwritten rules of how it goes.
It's all communicated through pies.
Yeah.
Because these men aren't going to deal with their like emotions.
Right,
No.
right,
They're going to come home, punch a microwave, and
Right.
fucking get on with it.
They
They're all
come in there, they see a
But
key
you
lime
get
pie.
pie.
They go, who said what to somebody about somebody's wife? There's a key lime pie on the table. I know an infraction happened.
Exactly.
You don't talk about it. Why the key lime pie? We're all sorted out.
Yeah.
We're all sorted out.
Pretty much. And you got to go real nice. Like, for example, if you want to get into like a new division, you want to move neighborhoods, you go by, you meet the fucking commander, and you bring a fucking nice pie. Sweet, good bakery fucking pie.
Yeah.
Also, you bring your wife.
Yeah.
You fucking clean everybody up nice. You say, I'm a good fucking Catholic boy, and here's a fucking apple fucking pie. Yeah. So that's what this guy did. And then apparently it was amazing cake.
Was it
I
like
guess.
an
It was a cake.
Entenmann's? Was it in a box?
No, it wasn't in a box because I guess he decided I was worth a little more than I'm actually worth.
No, but it sounds like a guy who would do that at the show would definitely go to a bodega and get you an Entenmann's.
And that he might have put it in a different box.
You
Now
might
I'm
have
wondering.
taken it out of the Entenmann's box,
Which is an amazing
and put a
wild
candle
move.
in it. Yeah,
A candle is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Why would there be a candle?
I don't know. They put a candle in it, or just like brought it in a bag.
A candle is so funny. The idea that they would have a candle in it is hysterical. What would they
celebrate something.
Celebrating
Yeah.
what? Exactly what they'd be celebrating. It's amazing. They're celebrating, that, listen, we can have these moments where we accidentally threaten another person's property. And in their mind, they probably figured by the way, the cake was brought to the firefighters, not to me. Because it's like, why would you apologize? It's like kind of like if you backed your car into another man's garage door, you wouldn't bring a fucking cake for the garage door.
Right.
You bring a cake for the man.
Right. So it's sort of like Islam in that way. The apology has to go through the man.
His property. Yeah, on Pete's property. So
Yeah.
he
had to bring the cake home to you on behalf of this volunteer firefighter from out of
Exactly.
state. Yeah.
And he was like, oh, but by the way, no, he didn't bring it home to me.
He left it. A guy's had it.
No,
The
he was
guys
like,
did
oh,
the
it's
slice.
delicious. I'm like, do I get a fucking slice, Pete? Not a slice for me. No, the whole firefighter, they had at it. They figured beef was squash, cake was delightful. I'm like, I'm the one who got accosted on stage. I don't get to chase this chocolate mousse. Pete's like, it went by fast.
Now this guy, he had no idea that you were married to Cap.
No.
You think he had?
No,
it
he
was
didn't.
just. It was
No
just
idea.
unfortunate.
I don't believe he knew. I'll take it a step further. I don't think he knew what state he was in that evening.
He was hammered.
The woman with him was like, she was so disgusted. Like he had a date. Imagine you're on a date and that happens,
yeah.
and your date runs up on a stage.
That's always when you're. That's a big wild card when you're a fireman and you take a person on a date to
Front
a
row.
bar, where there's alcohol. Things could get a little crazy. Was he dressed in jeans and Timberland boots with
he
like
had some jeans and a
Gap
shirt
sweatshirt?
on and a big thick mustache.
They're all big firefighters because you have to be able to carry your body weight plus 20.
Yeah,
That's one of the
How did you
things.
know 20? I never even know how much.
Because
bunk-
I
you
do a
take the
little
test,
firefight
Yanni?
myself. Yeah,
Did you take that city test?
I took that same test. It's a lot hard. I failed it. I became a cop, and then I studied again, and I went back and took the fire exam. A lot of guys who becomes cops in New York fail the fire test, and that's why they become cops. There's a lot of guys who dreamt about being in the firehouse who have to settle for busting up teenagers on the street.
Like them comments.
It's the truth, though.
What if you
People
got
know that.
shot for saying that again? What
I
if you got
know.
shot a second time for saying
I know, but it's the truth because it's so much easier. The test to
Oh my
become
God,
a
I just realized my
firefighter.
button is undone. Oh my
You
God,
didn't
it's so
even-
embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, you're a mess.
It's not good. Go
Yeah.
ahead. What were you saying?
Did you eat before you got here?
Even my fly wasn't down at least. God damn it, I'm a pig.
The beginning of that podcast, people probably didn't hear a word we said because they were just looking at your button open.
Oh God, I'm dumb. I really thought Meanwhile, I was even discussing my outfit and what a cool action outfit I had on.
No,
Like,
you
yeah, your
look
button's
great. You
undone.
look like you could help me find a dress in Rainbow, the store.
Damn it, this does look like it's from Daffy's. I always do this to myself.
You do look like.
God damn it, I
you-
shouldn't have taken such a big risk today.
Excuse me, ma'am. Where's the Levi's? Macy's. I'm in Macy's right now. Can I pay over there? It's definitely a work at Macy's outfit.
God damn, it's a Payless shoe store outfit. I
looks
just
like you
realized
took off
I
your
look
name
like I
tag.
work at Payless. So you want those in 8T?
It's like a 30. You have anything in 33.29?
That's not going to be a problem. I'm just going to do a bump in the bathroom and I'll be right back with you. I'll circle back. All right. Oh,
Special's
God damn
great.
it.
I watched it. It's so funny.
You watched it?
It's
I'm
on
always
Netflix
shocked
right
when people
now.
actually watch it. You didn't actually watch it. Let's
Of course
be
I
honest.
watched it. Don't do that on the podcast.
You watched
Just
it.
go with the flow. I watched it.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
I
My
watched
therapist
it.
would agree with you. He'd say,
Yes.
why would you undercut
Why would
yourself?
you undercut
Take it in.
yourself? Take it in. Take the compliment
Thank
in.
you, Yannis.
It's hilarious. You're one of the funniest people I know. You always make me genuinely laugh. Like I'm crying now. Like you make me genuinely laugh, and it's very funny. There's stories about the fam, about your living situation,
Big
your
guy,
husband.
big guy.
Yeah,
Yes.
big guy. Your nickname.
Thank you for watching it. I'm going to learn
you're
to
a mother now,
internalize
too.
that.
You're a
That's
mother.
how I laugh with you every time. I laugh with Yannis like nobody else because you just don't give a fuck. And we don't think that we are like intellectuals telling people how to think about it. And,
sometimes
you're
I
always
do a
just
little.
fun and silly. Actually, yeah, that's true.
Sometimes
you do.
I like to.
Never
yeah.
mind. I've seen you on Twitter at like 2
Yeah.
a.m. I take back
Yeah.
everything I've just said. Yeah.
Less and less, I think. I'm doing it less
I'll
and
be
less.
like falling asleep and I'm like, all of a sudden I'll get like a Twitter thing and I'm like, oh, maybe I'll open it for a second. Then Giannis be like, with the Ottoman Empire. I'm like, oh boy, I think I'm gonna, I think it's lights out. There's a reason there's no screens after 11 here.
What's it like being a mother now? You're a mother.
It's fun. Now it's getting really funny and fun. She does have tantrums sometimes in public, which is unfortunate because she's really tall. So it looks like I can't control my like 7-year-old. And people look at me like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because she's very, very tall. Like Frankie's going to be like 5'10". So it looks like I've not taught her respect yet when she has a public tantrum, and they're like, little late for that respect lesson.
Yeah.
But she's not at school though. She gets a listening sticker every day, and
Kids love
a
stickers.
sticker. That's
They
all
go
it takes.
nuts for a sticker.
One fucking sticker.
Yeah, you can't even do anything with the sticker, but they love the sticker.
They love that sticker. And every day I go, did you get your listening sticker? And she's like, loves to show me. And one day I was like, did you get your listening sticker? And she goes, sadly, no.
Sadly, no.
A little
That's pretty
condescending.
sophisticated
Yeah,
language.
she was
for
like, sadly, no, Mom.
sadly, no, I didn't get it.
She's very funny. And she kind of like knows that I'm not important. I talk about it in the special, but in general, she just sort of like looks at me like, she said to me the other day, there's no way you know that. And I'm like, there's no way you know I don't know that. What the fuck? Yeah, like she knows that I'm not a source of final information about anything.
Right.
And that kind of hurts because I'm like, you've been here 4 years. Like, you should believe everything I say.
Right, but she probably seen you a few times kind of fumbling for where your keys are.
Yeah,
And
she's
this
like,
woman
no.
doesn't know what's going on.
Unfortunately, also, she thinks only men can like fix things because
Well, that's
because
correct.
Pete fixes everything. Like,
Yeah.
so I'm like, when Daddy gets home, and she's like, "But you're not strong enough, right?" Like, she said that to me. I'm like, "No, I'm strong." And she goes, "Well, try fixing this." And I'm like, "No, let's circle back."
She gets it. She sees what's going on in the house. She knows.
Yes.
Does she know what you do?
The funny thing is, actually, that you asked that.
My
so
daughter knows what I do.
She
goes,
does?
Daddy makes people laugh.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cute that she says that.
I wanted one more fan.
Yeah.
So I bragged about it right away. I was like, and here's where you can give me a view. So, like, I showed her stuff on YouTube, and I was like, I got the count up one.
Yeah. Oh, you show. That's so
Yeah,
cute. What
yeah.
did she say when she saw you on YouTube?
I just showed her like a little,
Sure, of course.
I wanted
You
her
showed
to
her
see me on. I
that
showed her a
joke you
big
make
show.
about cunts.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't show her I didn't show her a crowd work clip from a small show. I showed her
I
like
thought
a
you
crowd work
showed her
clip
that 7-minute porn bit about what kind of porn. No, obviously you didn't.
But she's gonna find that stuff. at
Sure,
some
no.
point.
I just
Yeah.
think it's funny that you had to say that. Like, of course, like I didn't think you said like showed her like a. I don't know. I'm trying to think of your filthiest bit, but
there's probably a bit about porn. Maybe if I want to just just really rip the Band-Aid off and be like, look.
Daddy says disgusting things.
Well, what I did is I just
in
put the Maurice
public
wig
spheres.
on and just woke her up in the morning. Said, this is what Daddy does when he's at work.
I love Maurice so much.
We're gonna have it's just I always think about that. It's just we have real I think it's cool. I think they're gonna think it's cool.
I think so. I'm
I
sure
think
it'll
so.
also embarrass them like all kids. They'll probably like half think it's cool, half embarrass them. And then later over time, they'll think it's cooler. Like
Yeah.
if they're a teenager, they might for a minute be like, oh.
Yeah.
And then be like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
But like she doesn't. So I've talked a lot to her about firefighters. So Pete doesn't like talk about me. So no information is going to come about my career unless it's through me. So
Wait, he's Catholic, right?
he's Catholic.
Yeah, they don't talk. Catholics don't.
Yeah, he doesn't.
It all gets pushed down.
Yes.
Yeah.
You push it down, and you put like Miller Lite above it.
Pour
That's how it
yeah,
works.
You pour it down.
Yes.
Yeah. It comes up. It's always a
Nothing.
battle between the feeling and the liquid. and the feeling comes up, and the liquid goes down, and then it just kind of keeps it at bay. Yeah. Feeling comes up. It's okay.
He had a firefighter over for like 5 hours the other day, like all day long. They were doing something in the yard, and then they smoked cigars after, and they were like doing some kind of work. And then I came home, and he's a neighbor of ours, and I was like, I was coming back from something, and I'm like, how are you? Oh my God, you should invite your wife over. We should have dinner for her. And he's like, oh, we got divorced. And I was like, what? And I'm like, Pete, and Pete goes, no kidding. And like he was like eating a chip. And I'm like, that's not, you don't say no kidding when your friend says he's going through a divorce, you moron.
That would be funny though.
He like ate a chip and never asked about it again. He's like, no kidding.
That would be funny though if you went out there and they were smoking a cigar, having a couple cold ones, and you're like, what are you guys talking about? Oh, we talk about intergenerational trauma and how my family didn't talk about our feelings.
That would be so much funnier. You're right. Like I'm like later on, I'm like, you need to call him. Like you need to text him. And then I kept reminding him. I'm like, you need to see how he's doing. Like he's struggling with this. Like he told you he was in front of me.
Yeah.
He's like, you sure? Like he said it like it was like a weird rumor that got around town. I'm like, yeah, he said it. Remember in front of us that he was having a hard time.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know. And then I asked him, he's like, I forgot. But yeah, why don't you? Like even when he has to text somebody, he'll be like, what do I write? Like if a friend's grandma died. I'm like, what you write when a friend's grandma dies?
Yeah.
Like, but he doesn't even know the
kidding.
sentence.
No kidding, period. I heard your grandma died. Comma. No kidding.
Yo, you butthurt, son?
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He doesn't know. He has no idea.
Here's a cake.
But anyway, so he wouldn't tell her that I'm a comedian. So I don't think he would ever explain that to her. So I asked her once, do you know what I do? And she said, you go to the Comedy Cellar, like a specific club. Yeah. And then I showed her somebody else showed her a few days ago that I was on television. Do you want to hear what they said about it?
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So she was staying at her aunt's house overnight. And hold on.
Is that your phone protector?
No, because I lost my phone case, of course. I love how you said that. You're like, that tracks.
Yeah, phone is very vulnerable right now.
I know it's not good. And then I ordered one on Amazon, but it's the wrong size. Yeah. I'm doing my best. I work at Payless, all right?
You have ADD, right?
I'm teeming with ADD. Yeah. Like I lose things every single day. Like I just lost a debit card, tried to order a new flight with a new debit card, then lost that debit card. Like that's every day of my life.
Have you been diagnosed with ADD? Have you
when I was like 11. And then a lot of other things. Like they were trying to figure it out. Like I was like suction cupped. Like I had scans on my brain. Because they were like, what's going on? Like we can't teach this bitch anything. There was always testing and a lot of hushed discussions about me. My mom was always on the phone like, you know what I think it is? I think she's got figure ground disorder, which was one thing she thought I had. Because apparently it's like something where you can't tell the difference between one person speaking in a sea of voices. Like for example, if there was a directive to a class, like I would have been able to hear that. Like I can hear it, bitch. I'm just not paying attention to it. Right. Other things are more fun in my own mind. But it was like from very young, people were like, oh, we got a real problem on our hands at school. Right. Like when I even smell a school, it brings me back to like how everybody was always just like one time they thought I was in the middle math class, and then they realized that, and I was so shocked. I'm like, the middle, but I'm the lowest of everything. And the whole family was shocked. Like my aunts were called, and my mom's like, Anna, it doesn't make any sense because she's supposed to be the lowest. And everybody's like, well, no, there's got to be a reason. My mom, well, maybe she's just in the middle. Maybe she is. And then there was a second call from the teacher that in fact they'd made a grave mistake. Yeah. I remember just being like, like wailing. Oh, she said, we told Frankie that you were, we told her that you were on television, and we showed her. And I was like, oh, how did she respond to that? And she said she didn't seem too interested, wanted to watch Mario. That was sort of hilarious. The end of it. Yeah. She was just like, I don't know what mommy's doing on there. She's not saying anything fun. Yeah. She was like,
Yeah, no, they're not. That's not their world right now.
They're too young to know that TV is kind of like a thing, like, you know. So she's like, why would she be in that box? Like, I want to watch something better in that box. I was like an ad, a pop-up ad.
Just like talking in the box.
Yeah, she's like, that's not fun. Like, no, play with some Mario. Oversized weird, toys like they do in those weird, disturbing YouTube videos that I watch. Yeah.
My daughter's all into Paw Patrol and
yes.
And Spidey and Friends.
Yeah, Frankie loves Paw Patrol. And does she like Mario and Princess Peach and all that kind of stuff? No, Frankie's pretty into Princess Peach.
Blaze, the talking truck. And
how about Up? Does she like Up or any of the Disney? How about Elsa, Bluey? Frankie loves Bluey.
She's past. Elsa was quick.
Really? Frankie's
she
still
did-
pretty into Frozen.
Yeah, well, she's probably straight. My daughter, I think's going. I think my daughter's going to play softball. My daughter.
Is your daughter not a girly girl?
She's both. She's a girly girl. Like she likes pink's her favorite color. I guess that's girly,
Yeah.
right? She likes wearing like her girly shoes, which is it's funny because when you're a parent, it's almost like you're in a loony bin, right? So you're taking care of mentally ill people.
Yeah, of course.
She'll go outside
Psychopaths.
in like her dancing shoes. She'll have like her shorts on and her dancing shoes. She just wants to wear dancing shoes to go on the slide, like a crazy old woman would.
It's so funny that you say that because yesterday Frankie got her babysitter gave her these high-heeled shoes. And like I let her wear them around the house, but she can't wear high-heeled shoes to school. So the next morning she had shorts and like a tank top on for school and wanted to wear high heels. And I was like, no, you can't wear those to school. Then she threw like a fit, I think she said, don't talk on me ever again. Don't talk on my face ever again. She always says that. And I get what she means. Like I kind of understand that. And then so I go out of the room. I come back downstairs. She has the shoes on. Pete put her in the shoes and he's like getting her in the car. I'm like, Pete, she can't wear high heel shoes to school. So now I'm the asshole that takes her out of high heels.
Right.
And I try to walk him back through that decision. I'm like, why would you think that she could go to
Because
3K?
fathers just say
Would
yes.
you do that? Would
We
you
just
put your
say-
kid in high heeled shoes to school? You guys are so dumb.
You can't say no to little girls. It's a thing that they learn very early that you just can't say no. And then the little girl gets wind of it and then just
And then she
takes
knows.
off. Like,
Yes.
just, Daddy, I want to stop. Like when you're going home and she's like, oh, I saw something in the window. And she wants it and I'll stop and I'll get it for her.
Yeah.
And she wants a lollipop and she wants an ice cream. And it's just mom's the bad guy. Because just you guys are just more nurturing and responsible.
Right.
And we're
right.
just like their best fucking buddies.
Yeah, it'll be like 11 at night if I have a spot and I come home and they're like jumping on the bed. I'm like, she has to get up for school at 7. I'm like, I'm not doing this to be an irrational twat.
Right.
I'm doing this because she's not going to want to get out of bed.
That's right.
Like
yeah.
I always try to explain to him, like, I don't say no to say no. I'm a comedian.
Right.
I'm where the party's at. Like, I just don't want her to, I have to wake her up tomorrow. Yeah.
There's something about just you can't say no. They just
You
melt
can't.
you. You just
Yeah.
completely melted. And they
I'm like
just
that with
know it.
stuff. Like if she wants something, it's so interesting to me to know what she wants that I just end up getting her way too much stuff because I'm like, I wonder why she like it. To me, it's fascinating still.
Yeah.
Because she's still the first human I've made. So I'm like, oh wow, I made a human that like wants things in stores.
Are you gonna do more?
Now it's a wrap, I
It's a
think.
wrap.
Yeah, because I can't. Like I had a miscarriage and then like we went through shit. So no, I always say that on podcasts because I'm fine. I've way gotten over my carriage. But
So, yeah, it's your
but I
Holly.
want people to know because like a lot
It
of
was your
people go
personal
through that.
Holly.
It was my personal Holly. But a lot of people know, and I think I was meant to have one, but like a lot of people
Well,
go
you were
through
meant
that.
to have a
I feel like
miscarriage?
you get what you were kind of supposed
What
to
you
have.
deserve.
Yeah, what I deserve. Deserve is so funny. No, I say it not like we don't have to play soft piano music because it's been
Yeah.
like 6 years.
Yeah.
But I just say it so that I feel like a lot of people have gone through that and then they don't talk about it. So I always talk about it.
Missies
Yeah.
happen. Girls have
miss-
missies.
little miss,
Missies
little
they
carriage.
have happened.
Yeah. So I feel like I was supposed. I was supposed to have one, so it's a wrap. And peek out of a vasectomy, so it's snip, snip.
So it's snip, snip, and the missy, and it's just done.
Yes,
Yeah.
one little girl. They told me I couldn't have any. They told me the doctor told me I couldn't. We
Well,
tried.
don't you want to? Didn't your
Yeah.
mom didn't suggest like adopting a whole African tribe?
Of course, I would want to adopt
Yeah.
a whole. I don't know an entire tribe,
Yeah.
but my mom, of course, her wish for us was that we adopted anyone that was beige or darker. Those are her words. No, but I was like, I wanted to actually, when I thought we couldn't have a baby, I was like, oh, we could adopt. But then Pete didn't want to. He wanted to have a baby. But then the doctor said it wasn't possible. So then we were looking into other stuff like like you can do like you get like a donor egg or whatever.
Yeah.
But then, and they told us we couldn't even do IVF. But then I was just pregnant
Yeah.
one Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Meant
they were
to
like,
be here. She's meant to be
Yeah,
here.
Frankie's meant to be
Yeah.
here. She's in it for the win it. She's in it to win it.
She's in it to win it. She came here the old-fashioned way. And
Yeah.
that was it. Did you like being pregnant? Were you able to work when you were pregnant?
I hid it the entire time. Like I was like a Catholic girl that like fucked her boyfriend when she was 14.
Why'd you hide it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of people later were like,
Yeah. Why did you do that?
well, I mean, I kind of know, but I don't fully know how extreme I took it. I
You guys
hid
were
it.
married, right?
We were married. It wasn't like, and I whispered, like, I'm pregnant. They're like, yeah, that's kind of okay. With
feel
your
like
husband.
You feel like you're doing something wrong. I felt like it was just.
It wasn't that dumb. There was sort of a reason, but I took it too far, and I was dressing like B. Arthur. Everybody thought I was fat. I was just wearing like long capes and shit. Everybody thought I was wearing fat capes.
It's funny that you hid your pregnancy for no reason.
No, there was a reason. I hid it because in the beginning, but it got crazy. I hid it because I had sold this pilot to Fox, and then I found out I was pregnant right after I sold it, and they basically gave the verbal approval that they wanted to, order it.
Yeah.
And so it was like they were like, they like bought the script, and then they were like, basically, we're going to order the pilot. And I was like, they're not going to want to shoot around my pregnancy. And then I discussed it with some people, and they were basically like, they're not.
Shoot it around you being fat.
Right. I guess you're right. That's a really good point, because I would have been really fat.
Yeah.
But I wanted that order first.
Right.
But then I kept thinking about it, and I was like, I don't want to lie to people, like the writers and all the people that I'm working with on this pilot. So I'm just going to tell them the truth. So I told everybody, and they were like, oh, we'll just order it later. Like, it's fine. We won't. They don't want to shoot around the pregnancy. They don't want me to holding a laundry basket, but it's cool. Well, it'll still happen. Yeah. We just won't order it till later. But that was still kind of a verbal agreement. You know what I mean? Right. And then COVID happened. So the pilot never went forward.
Yeah, these are some of the struggles that women have to go through in show business.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking about.
Don't get pregnant. Don't.
And there was no one bad man in a room. It was like, no. But it was kind of like, no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think it was supposed to happen that way for a lot of reasons. Like, I feel like I wasn't really ready for some things right at that moment. And it gave me the time. COVID in my life happened it was sad because I was pregnant and like a little freaked out. And then my family couldn't meet her for a while. But it was nice because I got this nesting time with my baby where the world sort of stopped while I was just, having a newborn. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, we had that too during COVID.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know you had
first baby was during COVID.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So how old is your daughter again?
She's going to be 4. I think her and Frankie are in the same.
Right around the same age.
And is your daughter's birthday the same as my second daughter?
Her birthday is May 20th.
Oh, no. Yeah. So your party was way off from her birthday.
Yes, it was. Well, it was a few weeks later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because my special was like May 21st, and I was doing all this press, and I wanted to be able to like fully focus on her birthday party. So I had it like the next week. It was pretty cute.
It was cute, right?
She loved it. I mean, she did kick me in the bathroom because I tried to wipe some peanut butter off her face. But besides that,
they do. They are a little violent.
There'll be sudden bursts of violence, and then the rest of the time, she does a lot of hugging and like gentle kissing of girls sometimes, like her friends, and they'll be like, beat it. Like, it's not the moment right now. Like, she'll be like playing ball with a girl, and then she'll just stop and like face rake her real softly and then kick me in the bathroom. It's all the emotions are mixed in with the toddler.
Yeah, because you're watching a human being in its natural state before it's developed.
Yeah.
Before it's developed any social decorum. So it's like they just act on their emotions. So my wife will say something she doesn't like, and she'll just swing at her.
It's so
funny. That's what we want to do as adults. But you don't, because you learn you can't do that. But
It's
kids
so
are just
funny,
like,
right?
I feel this and I hate you for this 1 second. And they just swing, and then it's over, and then they're like happy again. They're like dogs almost a little bit.
It's true. Like
They're
a
very
minute
in the
later,
moment. Yeah.
she's like, "What happened?
Yeah.
What? Nothing went down here."
Yeah. Then what do you mean yesterday? What do you mean yesterday?
But nobody at the party saw any of that. So the party, like, because I happened in the bathroom where she gave me a nice kick. But the party she was very delighted the entire time. They had they did musical chairs. They did all these different little Princess Peach activities. It was at a play space, so it was pretty insane. And I told her a few days too early though. So every day she just was like crying at night because it wasn't her party.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, it's going to happen in a few days. So that every night, by the way, she doesn't just cry. She cries like this. It's not my party today. And I'm like, yeah, no, it's Saturday. Just relax, And she's like, okay. And then she goes like this in her hands, and her whole body shakes, but she won't let me give her a hug. I'm like, oh, Frankie, no. Like, it's this private, it's like, it really looks like the storm of grief, like the way you would cry when a parent dies. That's how, when I told her it was just 2 days later than she thought it was.
Yeah. That's so funny. My daughter is the same way.
Really? Does she do that really tragic crying?
Yeah. Is it the party yet? And then when the jumpy house, can I go in the jumpy house? Until my wife just exploded and go like, fucking no. Like, she just couldn't wait. And it wasn't even her party. It was her sister's party.
Right. Any party for Frankie too.
She was just like, is it the party yet? Like, the party's today?
Every
Party's
day.
now? It's every
You
day.
can't tell him shit until like 3 fucking minutes before it happens. Otherwise, it's a disaster.
They just can't have no concept of patience.
You know what else is really funny is that her school gives me these like, they'll like tell you how things are going. And, you know, it's usually pretty positive reports. But when they say that there's like an issue, it's so funny and it's so hard to keep a straight face because they're just like, well, there was an issue with, you know, and you want to be like, oh my God, yeah. But the issues are so funny. And so I have to be like, be an adult, not a comedian. Be an adult, not a comedian. Like, because the comic in me immediately just thinks it's hysterical when there's like an adult being like, there was an incident today. And they'll be like, Frankie didn't want to rotate as much. Like she really wanted to stay in the kitchen, but we're having trouble getting her to rotate to some of the other stations in class. And I'm like, what's not hilarious about that? It's just so funny. And I'm supposed to be like, I hear that. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
You know, and let me work with her on rotating stations. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then they were like, and then when she did start going to the other stations, they were like, she's going to the other ones now. And I was like, thank God, because what would have happened if she just stayed in the same station? Nothing at all. None of it. It's all, unless you're like, your kid is rocking and staring at the carpet.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. You don't have to report to me that she stayed in the station.
Yeah.
She's a kid. She kicked me in the back in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she stayed in her station. She's 4.
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah.
Also, that's the best station. The kitchen one. Well, we can play pretend. We do some magnet tiles.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Oh,
Fuck
yeah,
out of here.
You're right. Only call me when she's at that age if she is not picking up on social cues. If she's if she's pooing in her pants and throwing it at people. Besides that, I don't need to know. She's being a kid.
They're so funny, the
She's
things
just
that they
being a
tell
kid.
you. Yeah. And it's like ludicrous, utter nonsense, you know? And then, but because I'm her mom, I still bought her toys from all the other stations and played with them at the home. So I half know it's nonsense, but I'm also like, okay, let me see if I can, because I also don't want somebody to look at her and like see her as a problem, because once that happens, sometimes that locks in, you know?
Yeah.
And then they were like, she's rotating now. And I was like, thank God. I was so fucking scared.
What do you mean rotating? Like I'm trying
There's 4 stations in the class. There's like a block station. By the way,
just teaching them to be good stay-at-home moms.
Pretty much.
Like here's the lunch. Rotate to the
There's
laundry.
a kitchen station. There's a block station. Actually, no, I think they want them to be like government workers.
Yeah.
And there's like a block station, and then there's a station where you play with things with your hands, which they call manipulatives. And I'm like, it's kind of a fancy word for nothing at all. They're just like playing with some rocks or something. They'll be like, when then she moved over to the manipulatives, and I had to look up what that meant. Yeah. They make up things to make it more complicated than it is.
Yeah, she went to play with rocks.
She played with some rocks or something. Yeah, there's like 4 stations, and she wanted to stay in the kitchen area. See, the fact that your mind couldn't grasp onto what it was says everything. Basically, the imaginary problem was that she didn't want to go to the other stations as much as she. By the way, I'm like, what a good way to live. It's like trade school. Figure out what you like and don't do the rest of it. You think I never gave a fuck about algebra, and I never will. And I was never going to use it, and I never will, you know. So she likes the dress up and the, play pretend.
Yeah.
But now she's rotating more. And so we weathered this very scary storm as parents. And I fell into a low-grade depression, but our marriage survived, thank God.
But now she rotates well.
Yeah, she rotates really well.
I always wonder at what age you can tell if they're good at something, so I can tiger mom her.
Oh,
I want to push her like the USSR used to. I see any bit of talent, I'm pushing her. Yeah.
I saw some video about like a little kid who he can only see out of one eye. He's like blind in one eye, and he has like a perfect, what's it called in golf? Perfect swing.
Yeah.
Perfect swing. And they brought him around. He was doing all the media laps and everything. He was like on Channel 5. And the mom's like, we didn't even know. And then one day, a golf commercial. And there is a small part of me that wants that to happen, of course. Because that'd be so interesting.
Amazing talent.
Like this bitch didn't even play golf. Like nobody in the family was into golf. Yeah, there was not a golf club around. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, he was just picking up sticks in the yard and just a perfect pitch. And now he's like being studied by like teams of scientists.
Yeah.
It would be fun.
Yeah. I have to say, I think my daughter at this point, pretty unremarkable. There hasn't been anything that's really...
Yeah, Frankie hasn't reached any wild heights.
I've kicked the ball to her, and they're like, kick it, come on. I want that. And the Jerry Maguire where she just launches it. I've said a big word to see if she remembered it. No.
How about, have you ever had a public tantrum with her where you're in public in front of people, or in a place where you can't leave, like where everyone's judging you? What happened?
Yeah. We were at
Well,
the
you
mall.
didn't do anything probably. Your wife did everything. So you
well,
were
we-
probably leaning on
No, I
something.
had to pick her up once. She didn't want to leave the amusement park. We were at an amusement
Right,
park
sure.
in Long Island. So I mean, a fit isn't the word. Like she
No, it's crazy.
screamed,
Wild.
like we were abusing her. Like it was, and I was carrying her. And she was like contorting her body, and then we were trying to get her in the car, and she wouldn't get in the car. And then she was like laying on the asphalt in the middle of the parking lot, screaming at the top of her lungs, screaming.
What were you thinking while this was
I
going
was
on?
thinking other people are thinking that we're
Horrible parents.
It looked like we were kidnapping a child.
Right.
When I was on the way out of the amusement park, it looked like I had just stolen her.
Yes.
And because we were trying to get out of there like swiftly.
And
Because
anything you do as a man, by the way, looks sketchy,
it looks
with
sketchy.
a, with
So
a
I'm
little
holding this
girl.
little girl. And I was telling my wife to keep up just so there was a woman present with me, so it didn't
That's
look
so
like I was.
funny that you were like, keep up with my
Keep up with
run
me.
so people don't think I'm a file. That's amazing. But I understand it. Like,
Yeah.
you're like, I'm getting pedo vibe. Like,
Yeah.
people are going to think I'm a fucking, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
But I get it. You're in
yes.
such dicey territory when you're a guy. Like, you can't say another little girl's cute. Like, you had to watch your mouth.
Yeah, I
That's
can't
for
go
sure.
to my own daughter and they go, sure it is, pal. And then the
Right.
next thing I'm fucking getting beat up by 4 guys.
That's so funny that you told your wife to keep up. I can just see you saying that. Like, keep
like,
up. Come on.
stay
Get
with
file
me.
vibes.
Yeah.
Because like my brother told me once that my niece had a tantrum in the airport and she was screaming, and my brother wanted her to try to pee before like they did something because he knew she was going to pee in her pants, and she was screaming at the top of her lungs to my brother, who's a really introverted guy. He was walking her through the airport and she was screaming, "I told you I don't want to take my underwear off." Daddy, I told you I don't want to take my underwear off. Stop making me do it. And my brother was just like, God, no. And he was alone, just with a little girl saying, I'm not going to keep taking my panties off, Daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you have to bring them in. I was in the mall with her and she had to go to the bathroom, and then you got to bring her into the family room, and it's just a guy and a girl. You just feel like you feel like you want to say, "I'm her dad." Tell
I'm her
him
dad, yeah.
Yes, say daddy. I'm her dad. It's okay because it just feels,
Everything. Yes, you're in dicey territory.
As soon as
it's
they
true.
start throwing a fit and you're
Yeah.
a guy in a public place,
It's not
there's
good.
somebody looking, going like, "Is this little girl safe?"
However, you guys could do anything at all, and they would give you a fucking medal.
Yeah.
They would act like you were father of the fucking year.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like you could, I mean, it's amazing what people will say about like male comics. Like, you know, Sam Morril and I were talking about a male comic. I won't say who, but he was like, "Oh, you know, he actually doesn't cheat on his wife on the road." And I'm like, that's not a compliment. Like, you fucking idiot, you know? He's like, he's a great dad. He never cheats on his wife. Like, you could be on the road for half the year, just
Yeah.
like doing like a fucking keg stand for most of your child's life.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, you know, father of the year. You know, like
Yeah.
I go away for 2 days and they treat me like I'm Casey Anthony. They're like,
Yeah.
how do you do it when she's overnight? Meanwhile, I'm like, he's at the firehouse for most of the week. Like, I do most of the parent. You think I've ever go away for one night without a team of people like helping my husband be a full human? No. Because like otherwise he'll dress her like Steve Jobs. Like, he doesn't know what he's doing. Yeah. There's like, outfits are laid out. There's like, I have a staff there, basically like my mother and somebody's stopping by, and they're still just like with Pete, like, it must be so hard. I'm like, he's been away for like days and days, like half of every week.
Yeah, you guys get no credit and you do most of
No.
the work. I am way off the bench.
Yeah.
When it comes to raising my daughter, I'm like, I get called in, like I'm last
Yeah.
option. When there's an emergency, I will come and do things wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I won't
whenever we have a
dress her
discussion
properly.
about like a choice that we were making with Frankie, Pete's usually playing chess on his phone while he's having it. I'm like, put the chess away. And he's like, yeah, no, I thought the same thing. I'm like, you thought nothing. You're thinking about your move in the chess on chess.com right now. Like,
Yeah.
listen to one conversation. Yeah, can't do it. But like he's with her and she adores him and he loves to do all the things. Like, he's a
he does all
good
the
dad.
fun stuff. He does all
He
the
does all the fun stuff.
Yeah.
She's always going with him everywhere. But like in terms of any real decision about like, oh, is she this or this? Like, yeah, it's the mom.
Yeah.
And so we were at her school even. She has like a little interview for her preschool. It's public 3K, but you meet ahead of time. So I'm like the orientation, like I'm telling him again and again. Twice he forgets about it. And it's like, oh, you know, didn't know, whatever. So we had to reschedule it twice. Like, this looks bad. Like, we're both supposed to be there. This time, be there. rolls in 45 minutes late. You know, I'd been there for 45 minutes just cursing them in my mind. And they're all like, thank you for your service. Just, by the way, his pants were falling down. I'm like, you wouldn't wear a belt? Like, what was going on with your pants? Like, your ass was out. And they were like, oh, you walked all the way over to this building. How did you do it? You're a hero. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
My wife always tells firefighters, thank you for their service. It's very uncomfortable for me. We're just walking and just a bigger, fitter man in a uniform, and my wife would just be like, thank you for your service.
Oh, man.
Do we have to do that? Do we have to say that right now?
And right as he's clocking her ass.
It's so emasculating. Yeah.
That's why men never want somebody to call the fire department. Like, there could be like smoke in their house. Like, they need to see like a lot of flames to call 911. Yeah. But like women will be like, there's a weird smell in here, you know? And then there's like 5 guys with boots showing up at their house, and this guy's got his head in his hands, just emasculated, you know. And like, my Pete says like a lot of the calls he gets are like smell of gas, odor of gas, but it was none at all, you know. And just like some guy just like embarrassed with his head down, just pisses his wife for calling, and the girl's just like, She's just blasting the day away after these guys leave. He did that actually for me once when we were dating. I couldn't get, this is so dumb. I couldn't get out of my apartment because I couldn't figure out the door. And I was like, something fell out and the knob wasn't working. So you needed to I need a screwdriver or something, but I don't have like tools. I'm not, you know, I had
you were locked in?
Locked in.
Yeah.
And I had to be at like Sirius for something.
So you just locked in. You can't figure
out
the door.
Locked in the door. Like it was like the screw. It needed just a toolkit to like screw it back in. Like the doorknob fell out, you know. So I called him like 911 emergency. Like we were dating at the time. Like we didn't even live together yet. And I was like, I can't get out of my apartment. Like, you know. And he was like,
probably thought it was like a sexy fun call at the beginning. Like I'm going to come over there and she's going to be like in some sort of outfit. But it was really just Rachel trapped in the bathroom.
Completely.
He was like, what's wrong with this girl? She can't figure out. Did he come and just turn it?
No, he didn't come. He sent guys because he was in a different
wow, that's
job.
funny. Hey,
so
my wife.
3 men came and knocked my door down with an axe. And by the way, it took a while, and they destroyed the whole door. You know,
so there was something really wrong with the knob.
No, it was just like they didn't have the tools. They had to just break in because they couldn't you know, I needed the screwdriver inside. I didn't have any tools. I just need to screw the door knob back in so I could open it properly. But I didn't have any tools, and I had to be at Sirius at 9:20. You know, got to do the bonfire. So I was like, oh my God, it's an emergency. You know, Pete's like, all right, send over some guys because he was still trying to get laid. Like, we'd probably just started dating, you know? So then, like, 4 men, one of them looked like JFK Jr. It was fucking awesome. They knocked down my whole door. By the way, and I'm very ashamed to admit this and have never admitted this in any public sphere, and I will actively regret it as soon as I say it because these guys could see it. But as they were banging it down with an axe, the whole door, I was getting ready. Like I changed outfits a few times. I was like painting my face, and I'm like, that looks cute for when they make that final strike and they walk through the. I was like lipsticking, and I'm like, oh, must be hot, boys, you know.
Were you embarrassed, like when they opened the door, that you were just locked in a room?
No, I just wanted to look hot for them.
Yeah.
That's the nice thing is that like. About sexism is that nobody expects us to be able to do a lot of things that we should be able to do. So,
and
you know,
and
we can't because our brains aren't fully formed.
They're smaller. Yeah. They're a little smaller. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just like, it's like the feeling that you have when you ask,
let me ask you this.
You know, a man to open a jar. Was I embarrassed that I couldn't open it? No. It was hot that he opened it. I like his bicep though. So dumb. Such a dumb thought.
Do you think there's a possibility that it was just the doorknob? And they knew that, but Cap told him, I just started dating this girl. Let's make it, I don't know what the code is. Let's make it a 506.
I mean, I'm sure that there was some way I could have figured that out, but I was in a real time crunch.
Yeah, you had to get to the bonfire.
Let's get to the bond.
Maybe he's just saying, take a couple, just impress her. Take the door down.
Take the door down.
Show her what we do.
By the way, the landlord was screaming at me. Because in New York, here's the thing. Your landlord will scream at you. I don't think there's any other city like this where they'll just, it's like, okay. Like your super yells at you. Everybody yells at you.
Everyone yells at everybody.
Yeah, it's very New York. And like, so I told the guy later, I'd asked him to fix that doorknob though. I had. And he hadn't done it a few times, you know. And then I was like, Sal, can I talk to you about something? I was like, I'm serious, but there's technically no door in my apartment right now. But I'll be RB, like, don't be panic. And he was furious. And he started screaming as he it was funny because even as he was yelling, he was calling me princess. He's like, Princess, are you an idiot? And he's like, you can't just knock down the whole door. I'm like, well, sir, I didn't do it. Those heroes did it. And he's like, he goes, these guys, they demolish property. This is what they do. You think they care about my property? He's like, they don't give a shit. He's like, they destroy things. And I'm like, sir, they're American heroes, and I'll have you take it back. He was so angry, and then he wanted me to pay for the door. I don't know how he worked it out, but I think I paid for that door.
You might
I probably paid for it.
Yeah.
He took that as a security deposit. He did not like that I did that.
But you were impressed that they got that door down.
They fucking...
And JFK Jr. came to the rescue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was hot.
Yeah.
It was a delightful
Do you
afternoon.
think he said send a couple guys, but make sure none of the cute ones? And then
he's not jealous. He
accidentally-
wouldn't
No,
care at
he
all.
didn't care,
No, he's
yeah.
not jealous at all.
Yeah.
Like I could be like, I'm sleeping at this guy's house tonight. Like one of my male friends. I could be like, we're having a 3-day weekend together, and he'd be like, solid. Yeah.
That's good.
He's
That's
the
very
least
good.
jealous. He's like almost like an accidental feminist, but like but he probably thinks feminists are like Nazis or something. You know, he's probably like, yeah. He'd probably be like, yeah, girls are feminine. Like, he probably thinks it's like real evil.
Definitely don't whisper it in the firehouse. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not whispered.
Yeah, I remember early in our relationship, you sent me like a video, and it was like feminist tries to something. It was like the joke was that she was a feminist, and I was like, that just means like equal.
No, they're planning
Rights.
right now on how to break Trump out of jail. That's what's going on in the firehouses right now. They're going, all right, we got a 509 with Trump. How do we get that door down? How many units are we going to send to get that door broken down from that jail cell?
He probably thinks feminists have like long arm hair that they like braid every day. Like that it doesn't mean like equal right. He probably really believes that they brew like evil cauldrons with like pictures of men.
Yeah.
But I was like, he actually is, because like he didn't care if I changed my name. Like he kind of is. Like he does not jealous. He's just a kind of like, he's also not warm or emotionally present in any way. Like it's very lonely over here. Like he can't soothe. He doesn't know how to put like a hand on. I have to put his hand on my back where it's supposed to go.
Okay, sweetheart.
Like
Yeah,
I like move him like a Ken doll. I'm like, in this moment
You're
where my
okay.
father had a stroke, you should do some sort of gentle holding to the best of your ability. Just kind of like wrap your arms around me like you were a Lego or something, and we'll just take it from there. Like
Right.
he doesn't, because they're all like,
Huh,
they're
ain't that
emotionally-
something?
Yeah.
You're all right. Yeah. You're all right. Big guy. You're going to be
That is
okay.
exactly how he pats a back. Like
Yeah.
it's wrong somehow. You're like, I've never thought about how somebody patted a back before until you tried to do it, and it looked like that. Yeah.
You'll be all right. I had to rescue a single mom out of a 45-story project building. I think you'll be okay. Your dad still got one side of his face, right? You're good, sweetheart. Now let me get back to my chess game.
I mean, you're probably emotional. You probably soothe. You're probably
You
very
know me.
sweet.
You know I'm an
Wait,
emotion.
hang
I-
on. Something happened with that mic. I think we've got.
Yeah, I'm not
Spoiled.
a man. You know the deal. I
You're a
do
good guy.
skits. I do skits. There's nothing manly about me. When I need to fix
But-
anything, I call your husband to come fix it.
So you don't fix things either.
I don't know how to fix anything. I hug. I'm the most physical in my family. I hug. I'm just like I'm a
Could
chick.
you like could you know how to like change a tire?
Yeah.
You can't change a tire,
I
right?
can tell you.
But you're kind of like, but when I met
I
you,
can
you were a
look at a
little
YouTube
street.
video.
You were like, you were kind of like a hustler in Brooklyn.
No, I wasn't. It was a
Hustler is,
talking
by the
about
way,
my feelings
hustler
on
is the
stage.
dumbest word.
Yeah.
That's like a word like some older white woman says when she goes into like what she like. It's almost like a racist word.
Yeah,
It's like,
don't
there was
let
hustlers in the area.
This hustler's right. Don't let any guy who does stand up let you think that he's a man for 1 second. We do school plays.
You run
for
kind
money.
of male though, as far as male comics go. Don't you do like boxing and
Sport.
stuff? Why do
Yeah,
I think you
do
box? You did some
Yeah, I do
boxing. Yeah.
And I played sports. And
I mean, you didn't like. I'm not saying you like finished being made as a boy. Like God got distracted. Like when he was almost done though.
Yeah.
Like he was almost done.
He was almost done.
Yeah.
I was a masculine boy, if that's what you're asking. Like,
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Right.
liked women and played sports.
And you're like a good husband. Like you probably talk about feelings and stuff like
Yeah,
that, and like
I'm
ask
all into that.
questions and
Yeah.
like yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when I talk about my feelings, he falls asleep. If I'm like, I feel a little sad, like he
well, you
snores.
can be a little long-winded.
God, you're right. I can be.
You could be like, and then just by the fourth, and then maybe he's just like,
You're right.
No,
I
I'm
can't.
kidding.
Everybody in the comments is going to be like, yeah, she never shut up this whole podcast. God damn it.
No,
It's
I
going to
mean-
make the comments explode.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, listen, you're a comic. You want people to hear what you got to say. And maybe he's going, babe, save it for the stage.
No. I bake it down to like one sentence. You're giving him way too much credit
Yeah.
because I know that he's like an emotional idiot. So I like say very little. And he's still like, yeah, my dad was like in the hospital with a stroke.
Yeah.
And I was like, my dad had a stroke and you might have to not work a 24 tomorrow because if it gets worse, it's the brain one.
Yeah.
Then we might have to go like, so if you have a stroke in your brain, blood on the brain, it could be fatal within 24 hours. So
Right.
there's like the brain one and then there's the artery one. What I'm not saying this right, but anyway, there's two kinds.
He
He
was
had
in
the
a bad
kind
situation.
very
yeah.
dangerous. So I was like, we might have to drive to Maryland tomorrow. And Pete's like, no, I got to work the 24. I
Right.
got nobody to work for me.
Right.
He wasn't like, oh my God, I'm
Right.
so sorry. He's like, nah, I can't get out of that 24. Like, and then he was like, talk to you in a little bit. And I'm like, no, it's some words here.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, should be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm different. I mean, I'm not a hero.
No,
But
that's the thing. Yeah.
if ladies, if you need a shoulder to cry on, I'm right here.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say neither my
But
dad,
if you need your door broken down, you might as well call the fire department.
but I will say my dad was the same way. And he was a lawyer, but he just like was of that generation. You
Yeah.
know, like the only time I ever saw my dad cry was in the movie Deer Hunter.
Yeah.
But not a tear in my wedding, but
Yeah.
apparently cried at Deer Hunter and the Baseball Hall of Fame.
No, he gave a long speech at your wedding. I remember you. I was at your wedding. Yeah. I think it turned into a political speech, if I remember correctly. Didn't it? Wasn't it an anti-Trump speech?
It was like a speech about
And all the
immigration.
firefighters? You could have did a show about that.
My dad gave a long speech about immigration, pretty
Yeah.
much during my
And
wedding.
and all his friends were sitting there going, "What? Who let this fucking cock into the thing?"
I'm so sorry. Wait.
Jesus
I'm so
Christ.
sweaty. What
I
is
didn't
wrong?
know this was going to turn into a goddamn De Blasio rally.
It's so hot in here. I probably look bright red, don't I?
No, you look
Yeah,
great.
you look
Okay.
fine. You look great. Besides the
Uh,
blazer, you look great. No, I like
you
the
just
blazer.
put like a Paris filter on those things. I'm really red. Anyhow,
No, I want to speak. I'm more verbal, I think, than even my wife.
right.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to process as much as you.
She's not as much of a processor as me.
There needs to be
Processing
one-
is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one person's usually better at it than the other.
Yeah.
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 But in my case, one's a retard at it, you know? But yeah, I mean, firefighter, yeah, any first responder is usually emotional. But my dad was too. Like my dad, you know, he never said, I love you. But I knew he loved me. I just knew he couldn't say that. Like that was, he'd be like, oh, all right. If I say it to him, I'd be like, I love you, dad. He goes, okay. He tries.
He turns into the penguin from Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Was your dad like a warm person?
No, he was as later in life, but no, he was shut off and withdrawn, and was
Would
battling
he like
PTSD.
scream during sports and stuff like that?
No, he wouldn't. My dad was very withdrawn. Now that I know he was every day. I think he was just battling demons of
Sure.
viewing himself as a murderer from being in combat, and I think
Yeah.
that was just kind of what dictated his person. Now that I look back, and it's just I think he just woke up every day, and that was just there. I
And
don't
you were an
think he
only
ever-
child, right?
No, two brothers, much older though. So
Oh, that's
I
right. You're
kinda
older.
grew
Yes,
up-
I remember
yeah.
because I remember your older brother and wasn't one of them at the wedding, but one of them wasn't or something like
They
that.
were both there.
They're both there. Okay.
Yeah.
But did you guys did he have
One of
like a
them brain
favorite?
injured. One
Yeah,
of
I
the
knew
brothers
one of
brain
them had
injured.
issues. I was trying to find the right way to say that.
Yeah. He
Brain
has
injured.
issues,
yeah.
yeah.
But so did you guys did he have like a favorite, do you think?
My father?
Yeah.
I think I was his favorite. Yeah, I don't want to say that. My brother's not gonna watch it.
You're looking at
But yeah, I mean, because
Yeah.
my oldest
Everybody has a
brother's
favorite.
gay, and he's like,
Right.
he
That
him and
was
my
hard.
mom
He couldn't
talk more.
process
Me and
that.
my dad watched sports, and my dad played football, and
Yeah.
and so I think maybe that had a little to do with it. I don't know.
So
I don't know.
Yeah. So you were the favorite. Yeah.
I think so with him, yeah. But he didn't. His parenting came on later when it was like too late and kind of annoying. He would just
try to have talks with you or something?
Talks,
Like someone told him that you were supposed to like talk to your
Yeah,
kids, and he was like,
so
"Oh."
I
And
should
then it
probably
was like-
catch up on a lot of stuff.
Did he ever give you a sex talk?
But he was also dealing with my mom. My mom,
course.
as we've spoken a lot, was a very complicated person.
Yes.
So I think my dad was just dealing with shit all the
Yeah,
time.
no, it's a different generation. They didn't have any. There was nothing they could
No
have done.
tools.
Nothing.
They
Not a
didn't-
single
they-
tool.
No idea.
They literally did the best they could with what they, because there was nothing they had to
like
work
chain
with.
smoked it away or drank it down or
Yeah.
they just didn't know what to do.
No, my dad, I can't remember if I told you this before, but my dad like would play tennis with this other guy. And then the wives set it all up because they never made plans with each other as men. Like the wives would just make their social schedule. So my mom found a friend for my dad because he liked the San Francisco Giants. I remember her on the phone talking about like, you know who I'll do for a friend for Howie here? You know, like they like moved to Bethesda and she was like, oh, I heard that David likes the San Francisco Giants. So then I'll make them friends. Like it was up to women forever. All emotional connection outside the family was like plans. Like it was on like a calendar with kids' school event. Like Howie will make a friend Tuesday, 9 a.m.
Yeah.
So basically, they decided that these two men would get together and play tennis at the Y, and that was going to be their activity as friends. And the wives made all this up.
Yeah.
And the men just whatever.
Yeah.
And then they went and they played tennis until one day they didn't anymore, and then nobody knew why. And my mom had to call, Susan and be like, Susan.
Even the guys didn't know why when they asked.
I'm sure. Yeah, they had no idea. What do they know? If you opened up their brains, they would have been like, like a fucking football in it and maybe like one other ingredient, like a baseball card and a football.
Yeah.
And there would nothing else inside their skulls. And then so she called Susan and Susan said that whenever Howie played tennis with her husband, that he destroyed the racket every time. When he lost, he would destroy the racket. Also, like, what?
So he was a fucking maniac.
A maniac. And probably all his emotions came out.
What the fuck?
And
my wife's a did I say my I mean fuck. My kid's a fucking ingrate. I hate my family. I hate my job. Why did my wife make me do this? So now this all comes out.
And
I'm trying to keep it all buried. Yeah.
And then it all came out, and my mom was like, "Well, that's why Stan Friedman won't play tennis with him anymore at the Y because he destroys a racket every time he damn loses." Meanwhile, it's like, could the stakes be lower of two Jews playing tennis at the Y? Like, it's like if a tree fell in a forest. Like, it doesn't matter. It couldn't matter any less who wins a tennis match on a Saturday at the Y.
Well, it mattered a lot to him.
It mattered to Howie.
It mattered
his
a
dad
lot
never
to
gave him no hugs neither.
Yes. Go watch the special. It's on Netflix right now.
Big guy.
Yeah. Rachel Feinstein. Throw it in there. It's on your home screen on Netflix in the comedy section.
That's right, babies. Netflix streaming now. And also follow me on Instagram, Rachel Feinstein _.
Yes. And live dates. Go check out your website for the
Rachel-Feinstein.com, or if you go to Punch Up Live, the website, and that is linked on my Instagram. And you go to /Rachel Feinstein. My road dates will be there as well.
Thanks, big guy.
Thanks.
You're all right.
Yan.
You're all right. You're okay, bud. You're gonna be okay.
Please make a meme of that. Just Yannis's dumb hand on my arm. The most unnatural interaction between two bodies. Thank you so much, Yannis. I love you. Thank you for having me here.
Thanks for coming. All right. Hope you enjoyed that episode. Want to give a small shout out to our people, our main supporters. We support them, exclusiveautoshipping.com. It's a company. You go online, you go to their website, exclusiveautoshipping.com. You move your car out of state. All right. You bought a new car. You need to move it. You hit up exclusiveautoshipping.com and you get a free quote. And if you're in the military, you're a student, you get a discount as well. So there you have it. For the free .art. It's music in Hawaii. They list shows for bands and artists in Hawaii. So they're starting live shows again in December 2022. Nate Linder, NateLinder.com. If you need somebody to make your business rank #1 on Google and you want to profit from digital advertising, you hit up Nate Linder, NateLinder.com. He's been crushing it with B2B companies. What's a B2B company?
Business to business.
Business to business and construction companies. So what does business to business mean? Two businesses doing business?
Exactly.
So if you got a business and you want to do business with another business, hit up Nate Linder, natelinder.com. It's not just about clicks. It's about new customer revenue. natelinder.com. Think marketing? Think Nate Linder. DisplayPros.net. These guys are the real deal when it comes to custom trade, show booths, retail fixtures, and promotional items. Amazing customer service at DisplayPros.net. So check them out. You get 10% off if you mention I sent you. Of course, we got my insurance services, MA Insurance Services. St. Petersburg, Florida. They got a new number, 727-475-1650. Hit them up for your insurance needs. They got all types of plans for you. MyInsuranceServices.com. Rebels-Raiders.com. How you like them apples? He's making new backpacks right now. So they're coming soon, as you know. He just sold too many. Too popular. You got to restock, my friend. Get your contacts in China. Get them cooking. He does not have body armor for sale, as I said. But he does have the plate carrier, which carries the body armor. So you want to load up for a job, he's got you covered. Got military surplus. What does that mean? That means military packs, load-bearing equipment, magazine holsters, stuff like that. You know, this is for pacifists. He also has custom-made shirts on the site. Can you send us some shirts? I would love a rebelsraider.com. Can you send us shirts? I'll send you the address on Patreon. He also makes T-shirts. 100% of the profits for his T-shirts go to goat animal charities. This is one of the wildest kids I've ever met in my entire life. He's living out his passions. He's living his life. He is who he is. And that's all there is to it. So go to rebels-raiders.com, peruse the site, and go pick up, a magazine holster. Suds Auto Spa in the Bridgeview area, south of Pittsburgh. He will travel for any job. The bigger the job, the farther he will travel. You can call up John Pappas at 412-564-5033, or you can email him at info@sudsautospa.com. What is it? They specialize in automotive longevity services, ceramic coatings, paint protection film, storage solutions, fixturing car capsule units. This guy will get your car looking fantastic. For all your car needs, hit up Suds Auto Spa, Pittsburgh's premier auto spa. PCB Tech Art. They made something for us. And I reposted it on Instagram.
What is it?
Like a print, you can print the logo, like one of those things.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're called.
What do you mean?
Models?
A model?
Yeah, like a
mock-up?
mock-up, yeah.
Yeah, but what is it?
It says Yannis Pappas Hour. I guess you can put it on shit, on
What is it,
shirts.
like a keychain?
No, yeah, I'll show it to you.
Okay.
So, piece at PCB Tech Art. Go check out the products they've made for other customers. Very cool stuff. And our ad reads have got them some bag tag business for a golf team. So we're giving you business because they're great. So if you're looking for any business marketing swag in the form of keychains, ball markers, or bag tags, check out PCB Design Consultations, prototyping, or 3D printing. They do it all. PCBTechArt.com. Go check out their store. They sell on Amazon as well. Use the code Yannis10 for 10% off your order. Very simple. Check them out. Send them a direct message for any consultations and custom design needs.